If your gut feels bloated, heavy, or feels off, no matter what you eat, the scale won't move. There is a reason. Most diets completely ignore the one system that controls fat burning and inflammation, your gut. But there's one diet used all over the world that not only heals the gut fast, it triggers natural, effortless fat loss, especially after 35. I'm breaking it down step by step, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to eat and why. We're gonna start with the top 7 foods for your gut and to get lean. Then we'll shift into a 7-day meal plan of this diet, what it's gonna look like for you, and then the 7 worst foods for your gut that's leading to weight gain. Let's get right into the first fat-burning, healing food for your gut. The first food here is gonna be red meat. That includes beef, lamb, and bison. Surprising? Probably. Dangerous? No. You see, red meat has been villainized over the years as being something that causes inflammation and disease, but there is not one legitimate study that shows red meat raises risk of disease. As a matter of fact, red meat is one of the most anti-inflammatory foods on planet Earth. There's not one vegetable that you could find in this world that pales in comparison to the amount of nutrients you will find in red meat. You see, red meat is nutrient dense. It's high in zinc, which is important for tissue repair. It's high in vitamin B12, which is important for brain and nerve health. And it has what's called heme iron, which is the available form of iron, which is really important for oxygen delivery. And the amino acid profile in red meat, it's a complete protein. You get all the amino acids that help power on your mitochondria, which help you produce energy, burn fat, and at the same time lowers inflammation inside of your digestive system. A couple of those amino acids found in red meat include glutamine and glycine. Both of these fuel enterocytes, which are the cells that line your gut wall. And when you eat more red meat, the protein and the fat helps you feel satiated and full, which prevents you from overeating, eating processed junk food, and eating the bad 7 foods I'm going to share later in this lesson. So add red meat into the mix, and the redder the meat when you eat it, the better. Meaning, ideally, you don't want to eat your red meat well done. It's going to lose a lot of those critical nutrients I just outlined for the gut and for inflammation. So you want it medium rare. I typically go on the medium rare side, but make sure you have some redness in the middle there. Let's move on to the second healing food for your gut and for fat loss. That's going to be eggs with the yolk. Eggs are a gut microbiome multivitamin. Eggs are high in choline, crucial for bile flow and fat digestion. A lot of people who have digestive issues and weight loss resistance, they're not producing bile, which helps to break down fat and absorb those nutrients and help you burn energy and produce energy and burn fat. Choline supports the liver to produce that bile, which helps you break down the fat more efficiently. Eggs are also loaded with vitamins A and vitamins D. These are fat-soluble vitamins needed to maintain the mucosal integrity of your gut microbiome. Eggs are loaded with biotin and B vitamins. This supports the gut-brain axis and increases microbial balance, which is gut diversity. Eggs are loaded with leucine and cysteine. These 2 nutrients are key for repairing epithelial tissue, which is found in the intestines. So eggs are easy to digest, supports detoxification because it supports your liver, and it has some amazing nutrients. So you want to make sure you're getting organic pasture-raised eggs. You also want to make sure you're not overcooking those eggs. Similar to what I said with the red meat, the more you cook your eggs, the more you lose the nutrients and the more it oxidizes. So you want to have soft scrambled, soft boiled eggs, or even poached and steamed eggs. You want that yolk to be runny to get all these benefits here. This moves us to the third food on the list here, avocados. Nature's perfect gut-soothing fat. Avocados are loaded with prebiotic fiber. This feeds beneficial bacteria. One of those beneficial bacteria that's very important is a bacteria called Akkermansia muciniphila. As a matter of fact, this is called the skinny bacteria. There are companies that are trying to put this bacteria in a supplement form because studies show the individuals who have more of this specific bacteria, the Akkermansia, are lean individuals. Some really fascinating studies I actually put in my latest book, Metabolic Freedom, looked at obese individuals and 2 different groups of obese individuals. One group was given what's called a fecal microbial transplant. Yes, they were receiving fecal matter from healthy lean donors. Now, these healthy lean donors, when they looked at their gut microbiome, had a high amount of akkermansia by simply transferring their fecal matter through either there's pill form and different ways to do it, but by transferring that fecal matter into the obese group, they started to lose weight without any dietary changes. The other group that didn't get the lean donor fecal microbial transplant didn't lose weight, right? This is called the skinny bacteria, and avocados help your gut produce more of akkermansia, the skinny bacteria. Super cool. Avocados are also loaded with oleic acid. Oleic acid is an anti-inflammatory fat that helps maintain the gut lining. And we also know that avocados are loaded with magnesium and potassium. Most people think of bananas for their source of potassium, but one medium-sized avocado has double the amount of potassium than a banana. And a banana will spike your blood sugar, but your avocado will not. Both magnesium and potassium are also critical for those dealing with bloating and constipation as well. So you want to consume half to a full avocado a day. When I go over your 7-day meal plan, you'll find some avocados in that meal plan. Let's move on to the fourth food on the list. That's going to be fermented foods: kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, and even coconut yogurt. Live microbes to the rescue here. You see, probiotics populate the gut with beneficial bacteria. Postbiotics create metabolites that reduce gut inflammation. One of them is called butyrate, and it helps with digestive enzymes. These break down foods so you absorb more and bloat less. And these foods could also boost your serotonin levels, because 80 to 90% of serotonin, which is this feel-good chemical and hormone, is made in the gut. So it should help with mood, with sleep, and with stress by eating these fermented foods. So I personally love kimchi and sauerkraut. That's my go-to, but any of those sources are great. Just make sure they're organic. The fifth food here on the list is called colostrum. Colostrum is the gut's secret weapon. You see, colostrum is loaded with something called immunoglobulins. These bind and remove toxins, viruses, and bad bacteria within the gut. It's also high in lactoferrin. Lactoferrin supports immune function and reduces intestinal inflammation. Colostrum also has growth factors. These stimulate cell regeneration in the gut lining. And we also know that colostrum helps to seal tight junctions. This helps with leaky gut. Something else, another term for it is called intestinal permeability. Colostrum rebuilds your gut like fertilizer to soil, especially after antibiotics or food poisoning. Not all collagen supplements are created equal. The one that I use is from Equip Foods. Put a scoop or two in your water or coffee or tea every day to get these benefits. I actually have a 20% off code with them over at equipfoods.com/benazadi. Number 6 here on the list is going to be collagen-rich foods, and even collagen protein powder. The name of the game here is collagen. See, collagen is your gut microbiome's construction material. Collagen, gelatin, bone matrix. These are high in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. All of these rebuild your mucosal barrier, critical for reducing that leaky gut we spoke about earlier. When you have leaky gut, food goes undigested, enters your bloodstream, and it creates an autoimmune response. Not good. So we want to close those tight junctions. The colostrum I mentioned could help. Now the collagen could also help. Collagen-rich foods and supplementation improves skin, joints, and recovery. So this is bonus anti-aging benefits here. And if you're going to go with a powder, go with grass-fed, cold-pressed, no fillers, tested for contaminants. The one that I use is also from Equip Foods, and I also have a 20% coupon code from them. If you go to equipfoods.com/benazadi, the coupon code is automatically applied. We'll drop that link down below. And if you go with foods, you want to consume chicken with the skin, ground beef, and even oxtail. Those are foods loaded with collagen. This gets us to the 7th powerhouse food for the gut and for fat loss. That's going to be bone broth. This is ancient healing wisdom now backed up by science. Bone broth contains glutamine, which repairs the intestinal walls and those tight junctions. It also has electrolytes. It rehydrates the body and aids in stomach acid production. This is also really important for those doing a low carbohydrate, keto, or carnivore sort of diet. Also loaded with collagen and gelatin, which soothes inflammation and improves stool quality. And bone broth is loaded with glycine, supports liver detox, and balances the nervous system. Just be aware, not all bone broth is created equal. I will drop a link for my favorite bone broth in the notes down below. This now brings us to your 7-day diet plan for the gut for fat loss. And then I'm going to get to the 7 worst foods you want to avoid that lead to inflammation of the gut and weight gain. So let's go through day 1, which we'll say is Monday. Breakfast will be 3 eggs cooked in ghee or butter with avocado slices. Lunch is going to be grass-fed beef patty with sauerkraut and greens sauteed in beef tallow. Dinner is going to be bone broth, slow roasted lamb, and mashed cauliflower. And if you want a snack as a dessert, the collagen protein shake would be fine. Tuesday is going to be a breakfast omelet with pasture-raised eggs, avocado, and kimchi. Lunch on Tuesday will be chicken thighs, skin on, fermented veggies, and arugula salad. Dinner will be bone broth, wild-caught salmon, and broccoli. If you want a dessert, have the colostrum and unsweetened coconut milk. Day 3. Wednesday, breakfast, scrambled eggs, avocado mash, and kefir. Lunch, ribeye steak, grilled asparagus, and sauerkraut. Dinner, bone broth and chicken soup with added collagen. And if you want a dessert, another collagen shake would be fine. Thursday is going to be your day 4. Breakfast would be soft boiled eggs with kimchi. Lunch will be ground lamb, avocado salad, and fermented beets. Dinner will be bone broth, roasted chicken with the skin, and you could have kefir as your dessert. Day 5, Friday, 3 fried eggs and butter, plus an avocado and coconut yogurt. Lunch will be a bison burger, no bun, with sauerkraut. Dinner is going to be bone broth, short ribs, and roasted root veggies, and you could have a colostrum drink for dinner. Okay, this brings us to Saturday. Breakfast will be egg muffins with avocado. Lunch will be sardines with arugula and sauerkraut. Dinner will be bone broth and slow-cooked oxtail, followed by a collagen shake. This brings us to Sunday, day 7. Omelet with liver, avocado, and kefir. Chicken salad and kimchi for lunch. Bone broth, lamb chops, and sauteed greens for dinner. And coconut milk with colostrum for dessert. That's the 7-day breakfast, lunch, and dinner protocol. I'll drop those recipes, meal plan in the notes down below. Now we have to get to the 7 worst foods destroying your gut and causing weight gain, and then we'll get to your top questions. Okay, number 1 is going to be seed oils, also called vegetable oils, canola oil. These are extremely high in omega-6 fats called polyunsaturated fatty acids. They easily oxidize, driving gut inflammation as soon as you consume them. They disrupt the gut lining, destroy your mitochondria, and lead to energy depletion and weight gain. They're linked to Crohn's, IBS, and metabolic syndrome. They're in 80% of our food supply, so you want to be aware of them. Here's a list of the 8 you want to avoid with an additional 9 as the bonus. We have canola oil, called rapeseed oil in the UK, corn oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, rice bran oil, and grapeseed oil. Then we have fish oil, also inflammatory, not good for the gut, not good for your body. Make sure you're not consuming these bad fats. Swap them for butter, ghee, duck fat, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, beef tallow. These are much healthier. The second food causing inflammation in your gut and weight gain is going to be processed carbohydrates and processed sugars. These feed bad bacteria like Candida, overgrowth, E. coli. They create endotoxins that damage the gut lining. They spike insulin, leading to fat storage and gut dysbiosis. So cut out the breads, the chips, the cereals, the pastries, the soda, and anything ending in ose, because that means it has sugar, O-S-E. The third item on the list here, destroying your gut, are high carbohydrate diets. Constant carb intake means constant fermentation in the gut. This increases inflammation and what's called gut fog. You may have heard of brain fog. There's also gut fog. This slows down fat burning. What you want to do is aim for a low carbohydrate diet and focus on protein and fat, lower in carbohydrates. This will heal your gut microbiome and help you burn fat at the same time because you're going to lower the hormone insulin. Food number 4, or item number 4, destroying your gut, is snacking and grazing. When you snack and you graze and eat in between meals, it prevents the gut from cleaning itself via something called the MMCs, the migrating motor complex. The migrating motor complex is like, do you know those street sweepers that you see in your neighborhood that come through and sweep the streets when there's junk in the road? That's kind of what the migrating motor complex does in your gut microbiome. And when you're snacking and grazing in between your meals, it doesn't come out because your body's busy snacking and grazing and digesting food instead of cleaning it out. So this disrupts your gut microbiome. It leaves food fermenting, which feeds small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which leads to bloating and could be even more severe than that. And it also spikes glucose and insulin throughout the day, leading to weight gain. So eliminate the snacks. I gave you your meal plan. It has breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No snacking in between. Food number 5, destroying your gut, is going to be gluten, grains, and oats. These contain lectins, anti-nutrients like phytic acid. These damage the gut lining. They trigger autoimmune flare-ups, and oats are often contaminated with glyphosate. And for example, wheat bread, 2 slices of wheat bread will spike your blood sugar more than a 12-ounce soda or a Snickers bar. Not healthy. It will lead to weight gain and prevent you from burning fat. So get rid of the glutens, the grains, and the oats. Number 6 is coffee. Now, there's a caveat here because not all coffee is created equal. I think coffee, when you find the right source and consume the right source, is a super antioxidant, great for the gut, great for fat loss. But most people are not drinking the right source of coffee. They're drinking Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. They're drinking cheap coffee, which is loaded with chemicals, pesticides, mycotoxins. I mean, coffee is one of the most sprayed crops in the world when it comes to glyphosate. Glyphosate destroys your gut microbiome. Glyphosate poisons your mitochondria and leads to weight gain, and it's found in coffee. So you want to make sure you're not drinking cheap coffee. It also has mold toxins, and it just creates a whole bunch of issues. But if you do coffee the right way, when it's organic, tested for contaminants and to be free of contaminants, and it's a medium roast which has high amounts of CGA, chlorogenic acid, it's great for the gut. It's great for the liver. It's great for inflammation. So coffee needs to be the right source. And I wouldn't drink too much coffee on an empty stomach. It's healthier to have it with a meal. The coffee that I use and recommend and drink is going to be Purity Coffee. I have a 15% off code for anybody who wants the amazing Purity Coffee, my favorite coffee in the world. If you go to ketocampcoffee.com and use the coupon code KETOCAMP at checkout, you'll get 15% off. I'll drop that link down below. Number 7 on the list that's destroying your gut is corn and soy. 90% of corn and soy are what's called GMO, genetically modified organisms, which are sprayed with glyphosate. They contain anti-nutrients and they destroy your hormones. They feed pathogenic bacteria and promote leaky gut. So check your labels. If you see corn or soy, don't consume it unless there's a caveat. It's organic, GMO-free, which is pretty hard to find. Those are the 7 best foods for the gut, 7 worst foods for the gut, and your 7-day meal plan. Now I'm going to get to some of your questions. Before I do, if you want a 30-day plan to lose 20 pounds in 30 days, lower inflammation, fix your gut, and heal your body, go pick up my latest book. It's a brand new book, New York Times bestseller. It's called Metabolic Freedom, and it's available right now on hardcover, Kindle, Audible, and Spotify. I narrated the audios myself, and if you have a Spotify premium account, you can get the entire audiobook for free. Or if you have an Audible account, use a credit to get the entire audiobook for free. And if you go to metabolicfreedombook.com or scan the QR code on the screen for those watching on YouTube, we're going to give you a $1,000 course on the metabolism for free. So go get it. Let's get to your first question. What if I'm sensitive to histamines in fermented foods? Great question, and that is something you definitely want to consider because those fermented foods I spoke about earlier, the sauerkraut, the kimchi, the kefir, if you have a sensitivity to histamines, it could cause a flare-up. So what you want to do is start very slow. I'm talking about like a teaspoon of one of those foods, and then 2 teaspoons, and build a tolerance to it. Are organ meats part of this gut healing diet? Absolutely. Now, a lot of people don't like the taste of organ meats, liver and kidney and heart, but it's great. Loaded with nutrients, collagen, all the amazing things we want for gut inflammation. So yeah, if you want to eat the organ meat, go for it. I take capsules from Paleo Valley. They have an organ meat complex, and I have a 15% off code off their product. I'll take 6 of them every other day is usually my routine, and I'll drop a link for them with the coupon code down below. Is it safe to eat red meat every day? I was just at dinner yesterday with my mom, my sister, my niece and nephew, and my brother-in-law, and I was telling them that we should be eating red meat every day. I eat red meat every single day. It is a super food. I love red meat, and I will continue to eat it every day because I see my inflammatory markers drop, I stay lean, I feel good, so red meat for the win. Can I drink tea instead of coffee? For sure. Just make sure it's organic, make sure it's a tea that does not contain a typical tea bag because tea bags contain microplastics, which are inflammatory. I know. It's just bad news after bad news. It's just we live in such an inflammatory world. I just got to give you the news here. So there's a couple of brands out there that I like and trust when it comes to tea that are microplastic free. One is called Elixir Tea, and I'll drop a link for them and a coupon code down below. The other is Peak Tea, which I'll drop a link for down below. What tests can I take to measure that my gut is healing? Vibrant Wellness Labs has some great tests. Gut Zoomer is the test I've used on clients over the years and on myself, so go check them out. Gut Zoomer is the name of the test. You do need a practitioner to order that test for you, but it's a really great test. I hope this lesson was valuable. Implement what I just shared. Eat those foods, heal the gut, burn fat, stay lean. Share this with somebody you know today. And if you're listening on the podcast, leave it a rating and review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next one. And one of the best things that you can do for your gut is fasting. And it turns out there are some incredible things that happen inside of your body when you go without food for 100 hours. It sounds crazy, but I put together an entire timeline of the health benefits throughout the 100 hours without food, and I just published that video. So here's a clip from that video. Then click the video on the screen and I'll see you in that next lesson. Through hours 1 through 12, not much is happening with the exception of your body is going through digestion. There's something else that's also happening. You're lowering the hormone insulin. When you eat food, you raise your blood sugar levels. Insulin is produced by your liver to clear that excess glucose out of your bloodstream, shuttle it into your cells,